Now, if you want to know the skills of this amazing Deny monster, keep on watching. Hey scholars, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Monster Legends preview. And in this preview, I am going to be going over the new and upcoming cosmic mythic monster that is in fact from the dark category and not nature and magic category like I predicted initially. So yeah, his name is a Lindworm and he will be available in the Raiders of the Storm Maze that is upcoming this Friday. So yeah, a lot of you predicted that this monster is going to be a denier, and yes guys, you were correct, a good and keen eye. And some of you even predicted that this monster will have baby reversion and cooldown activation, which I'm pretty surprised by because that is what he actually has. And yeah, the clock kind of gives it away, but I would never have expected this monster to have a baby reversion. And yeah, that is enough on his design. I think it looks pretty cool just by the way. And quickly moving over to his trait. So guys, in front of me I have Lindworm's trait, and like every monster being released into the game right now, he has an evolving trait. At rank 0 he is Hardened, which is an amazing trait to have, like I have discussed in a lot of my previous videos. Why? Because it prevents you from being affected by DOTs by a percentage and also protects you from being denied. And then at rank 1 he has cooldown protection. That is amazing because cooldown activation will make him impossible to be cooldown activated by monsters that are having cooldown activation like himself. And then at rank 3 he becomes a status caster that will have an immunity to possession, which is pretty damn amazing as well, and will protect you from being possessed by any of the other monsters. Then moving on to his skills in just a jiffy. So I have the skills right here in front of me. Now these are the skills that are not in order, so you might want to consider that. So the first skill is a time scourge that applies a 3-turn death cooldown to all enemies, applies the space time, and also applies evasion. Now 3-turn death cooldown is a lot of turns, and even if you guys do think that it is a very small amount of time, it is not. Count on me. And considering that a lot of monsters have negative effect removal, this is going to be easily countered by that, especially with monsters that are being used right now, which are Ignis, Bombada, etc., that have negative effect removal. Furthermore, it applies evasion and space time. Now the space time here is kind of unnecessary. That is because space time essentially protects you from being damaged, but evasion does that nonetheless. It protects you from being damaged, being applied any of the control skills, and being damaged by any dots. So that is quite interesting, but I guess the space-time might protect you from the tortures. I do not have a idea of how that will work. You guys would have to check it out and tell me. Then we have the move the Era Traveler that activates all cooldowns on one enemy, requires cooldown. A very handy skill to have if you're going against one single enemy and you have to activate all of his cooldowns. Then we have the move Age Overseer that deals low dark damage to all enemies and applies curse to all enemies and also transforms all enemies into baby. So yeah, baby reversion, Kronx 2.0. I know that's what a lot of you are going to say, and yes, that is very true. Baby reversion was unique to Kronx up till now. I am glad to see it being repeated in another monster because it is very less used, and Kronx is not that used as much now because obviously she's outclassed. And I love this baby reversion, and on top of that it also applies a curse to all enemies, which is quite interesting, and also deals low dark damage. So this will deal quite a bit of damage to the enemies and also turn them into baby. That will make them lose one of their turns. And then we have the move Countdown that deals low special damage to one enemy, applies a 3-turn death cooldown to one enemy. This skill is not good. Like I mentioned, 3-turn death cooldowns are easily negative effect removed, so yeah, not gonna run that one. Then we have the move the Greater Times Curse that deals moderate dark damage to one enemy, applies curse to one enemy, removes positive status effects from one enemy as well. So this move is basically very important because you might run into situations that you absolutely have to remove the positive status effects to actually deal some damage, and that can come in very handy if you just want to target a single monster with your attacker and he has something like evasion, aquaphobic shield, legendary phobic shield, etc. So this can come in handy, and also applies curse and deals moderate dark damage, so you can also count on delivering quite a bit of a punch with that as well. Moving on, we have the next move, which is Revert Events that restores all cooldowns on one ally, removes all negative status effects from one ally, and requires cooldown. So this is an amazing supportive move as well. I do wish that it was a team move, but this monster is a denier, not a support, so even having this is pretty interesting. So yeah, I really like the skill, and it is very self-sufficient in its own, and it, you know, helps you in a pinch if you're ever in one. Then we have the move Time Curse that deals moderate dark damage to one enemy, applies a curse to one enemy. We already have better variants that we have gone over, so Time Curse is not that great. Then we have Sequence Bender, which is quite interesting because it gives one extra turn to one ally and it requires cooldown. Basically, this is turn transfer, and I'm glad to see it make a comeback as well in the Cosmic Mythic category. Now, one thing to note here is that turn transfer, as good as it might be, it is very susceptible to monsters that have anticipation, aka misery, so you might want to be careful around that monster and any other monster that has anticipation. Then finally we have the special, which is Your Time Has Ended. Now this special is the one I kind of like and I love. This monster has removes positive status effects from all enemies, applies curse to all enemies, applies mega stun to all enemies, applies a 3-turn death cooldown to all enemies. It has everything I would want in a special, and I love it all the way. And yeah, he is amazing basically in his special. And the last line summarizes his overall features and what his strengths are. So he is an extra turn giver, status remover, and also a cooldowns manager. So this is basically the summary. Now if I had to rate this monster out of a 10, I would give him a solid 8.5. And as for the runes, I would definitely recommend you all to run speed runes on this monster and no other runes, because this monster is a denier and you definitely want to go first in the turn order so that you can deny the enemy team. And the skills that I would choose are Sequence Bender, that is a turn transfer skill, Revert Events, that is restoring all cooldowns. Then I would run the skill that is the Greater Time Curse, that deals moderate dark damage and also applies curse, removes positive status effects. And for the last move, I would run Age Overseer, that is, I think that are 4 moves, and that is what I would run. Now having said that, that was all that I had to say for this monster. Now before logging off from this video, I would request you all to please give a like to this video, turn those notifications on, and subscribe to my channel so that you get notified as soon as I post. Also, do not forget that once we hit 1k subscribers, I will be doing a Legends Pass giveaway in which I will be giving away the $20 Legends Pass to one lucky winner. That is the end of the video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace out.